Hello and welcome to Online Appliance Tech. Today we're going to go over a Kenmore Elite dryer that will not start. We'll show you how to diagnose it, but don't worry, this is for LG also. Kenmore Elite is actually made by LG. So let's get started. So once you hit the power button, then you hit the start button. It makes one click. It could be the belt, main control board, or the fuse. So in this video we'll show you exactly how to test these parts. Also we'll show you how to use the multimeter and show you parts that usually cause the problems so we can prevent them if you do fix it. So make sure you unplug it. And here in the back you have 3 screws. There's 2 and there's actually one there, but it's not there no more, but usually there's one there. And this is your ductwork. Make sure you replace that. Usually that can cause the back airflow, which causes the fuse to pop and it messes up your wheels and so forth, which you'll see here in the video. So this is kind of a simple breakdown video of how to diagnose it, and then at the end of the video I'll leave a link to the full breakdown. So once we remove this panel, we have the main control board. Definitely make sure you have it unplugged and you just flip it on its back. As you'll see here, sometimes you have to disconnect a couple cables to get it to flip over. So right here, I'm just going to disconnect the power line and rerun it so it can flip over a little bit easier. Okay, so now we're going to pry these clips off. This way we can open up the board. So once you get these 3 disconnected, I'll actually show you which wires to check the continuity through the main board that goes to the motor thermostat, which turns off the motor if it overheats, which could be a possibility, or it could be the motor itself, or even door switch, but that usually never is the case. Definitely make sure you have it unplugged. So let's go ahead and disconnect this guy, and there's one over here that will disconnect. Also, when you're removing these harnesses, you have a little clip here that you press and then you wiggle it and pull up. Always press down on the part of the board where I'm not going to mess up any other parts as I remove it. So this is the one that controls or sends power to the motor. I believe it's a brown wire. And then you have this one here, it's just the yellow one in the harness itself. So you have your brown, your big harness, and then you have the little one here, which is this one yellow wire. So this is where we'll do a continuity check to make sure this belt is on. If this belt is loose or not there, that means that's your problem. But if the belt's there, that's not your problem. So you'll put your multimeter on continuity, and you'll put your 1 prong in there on the brown one, inside the brown one, and then the other one in the yellow one. So if this reads open line, that means we have a shorted circuit in its path. It should read continuity with the door shut. So now we know we have an open line. So we'll go ahead and put this back together, and then we'll go ahead and take the dryer apart. I will, like I stated, I will leave a video at the end of this video how to disassemble the dryer, but this video is just more for figuring out the problem and explaining to you, what's going on. Also, if you are more experienced tech and say if your dryer just hums and it tries to turn, you can put a clamp meter on that line. And if you're pulling a high amperage, more than likely there's something locking up your motor from turning, like roller wheels or something in the blower. So let's go ahead and put this back together, and then I'll take this thing apart real quick and I'll show you how to test the thermostat that controls the motor. And we'll check out the wheels and everything else in the process. Okay, so just removing the front door real quick, I see we have a lot of lint. So this can definitely cause the fuse to blow, which turns off the motor. And then if you take a peek in there, if it's real dirty, that can cause a lot of backage. So look at your wheels. If you see your wheels are locked up like this, not turning with a cutoff edge, definitely replace them, because the faster the drum spins, the better airflow, the better dry time. And also this can cause a lot of stress on the motor. So now, since we have the gyro fully disassembled, we can go ahead and check the other wheels in the back. If you have one bad wheel, and actually this type of gyro, they actually have a total of 6 wheels. And this is the igniter, it's white, and that's when you know it's about on its way out. So we'll definitely replace that. And here's your heat infuses. So if these don't test right, they test open line, that'll cause it from not heating. This is a motor fuse, so if this thing goes, because it can breathe well, it'll actually stop the motor. So hopefully this is our issue.
If you need appliance parts for a repair, Online Appliance Parts Hub offers OEM compatible components for major brands with fast US shipping. Check the description below for the link.
So just a quick breakdown of how this works. The heat comes in, and then the heat has to go out the blower wheel and go out the back. But the drum is not turning well because of the wheels or anything else that's preventing it. That will cause this fuse to blow or put a lot of stress on the motor. Usually this fuse will be the issue. But as I get surprised, the fuse is good, 0.213, something like that. It's reading continuity, so this is not a problem. So the next thing in line, I would say, would be the motor itself. So if you look close at this motor, you can see this. Let me give you my light here. You can see this shorted out the main power input to the motor, and it has an overload. So in this video, I actually take it apart and show you how to fix this. So I took this off real quick, and in another video, I don't go this extreme, but I just wanted to show you basically how this works. Before I took this off the motor, I definitely took a picture, as you can see. That way I can know exactly where my wires go. But the overload on this is fine. I just took it out just to kind of show you more up front. You don't have to actually take that off, but you'll just basically re-strip the wire. Any burnt part, just cut off. But definitely when you do this, make sure you get it right the first time, because they only leave you with a little bit of wiring left. So if you keep on cutting down and cutting down, you're gonna have no wire left. So definitely make sure you take your time. These motors run anywhere from $300 to $400. So you're definitely saving yourself quite a bit of money fixing this yourself. In the video at the end, you'll see that I don't take this additional off to get to it, but I just took that off just to kind of show you exactly how to test the overload, how it works. So basically, if this wire burns out, it has no more connection. So we're just basically going to put a connector at the end of this thing and reconnect it to the motor, as you'll see here in a moment. So here's the connector. I'm just going to slide that over the top. You can get this at any hardware store. And I like to make sure there's no wires sticking out at the bottom. So I want to make sure it's trimmed just enough where the wire is connected in thoroughly, but yet not, I guess in other words, making sure it's covered. So we'll just press that in nice and snugged. And I actually like to use vice grips. I was going to use my needle nose like these, but it's just not strong enough to really press it down. So you definitely want to make sure it's nice and tight. So I align these correctly where they're going to actually press down and tighten it up where it's not going to fall off. So you have to have kind of a steady hand, or if you have a better tool, go ahead and use it. This is all I had. So I'll loosen it up just a hair, then that way I can pry it down and squeeze it like that. Also, I do it once more just to make sure it doesn't fall off. So if you have a multimeter, you can do a continuity check. If you don't, just pretty sure you should be fine. You'll just put in your blue and white wire and you should have continuity. If you don't, that means you didn't connect it good enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on, and like I stated, that's why I took a picture. You'll see in the other video I didn't even remove this to do the repair. I just took it off for video purposes. So it's pretty simple. You just line up the two holes. You have two screws, as you'll see right here. There we go. It just slides right in, and then we'll go ahead and put our two 1/4 screws in. Let me give you a better lighting. Sorry, there we go. So you'll just put both of these in. You'll reconnect your wires. If you do remove this, just kind of watch this. You'll kind of see how easy it is to take apart. But you don't, like I said, you don't have to remove this. Go ahead and tighten these back up. Actually, Phillips screw got a 1/4 bit. Just snug it. You don't have to be extremely hard on it. Actually, I'm going to use the rest of my hand tool. That way I don't overdo it. And once you get them both tightened down, you'll just connect your two harnesses, and then we'll put the motor clip over the top. That way it holds the motor into place. So now I'll reconnect the blue wire, the one we fixed, to the overload. So I like to run it through the back end of it, that way it has no type of pull. And as you can see, you can get to this without taking all the other stuff apart like I did from the get-go of the video. You can just... So when I push this into the overload, I like to press my finger behind the back of it, that way I don't break the drawing of the overload itself. So let's go ahead and put this clip on. This holds the motor into place. It's very simple. On the right hand side you have a little clip it connects to, and then you'll press down with your thumb and pull this out, and you just do the opposite to remove it if you ever had to take those off. So right here is if the belt breaks, basically it has a little switch there and the motor won't start, which that's why we say check the belt in the beginning of the video. And this is something you'll definitely have to remove, but we're putting it back on. This is your motor harness. Just make sure it's aligned. It has two clips in the back, on both sides, so pretty simple. Just line it up and press it and smooth. So I went ahead and removed or replaced all the wheels on this machine because they was pretty messed up. So I wanted to make sure the drum was rotating smoothly. And the igniter I'm also replacing because it's about to it's seen its last days. In other words, as you'll see in a moment, I'll take it off and I'll show you. But you'll take a little ratchet, and it's a Phillips, and then you'll take this little screw, you'll turn it counterclockwise. So this is the old igniter, so If you do break it on accident, don't worry about it. But once we install the new one, I would say you want to make sure you're careful with it, not to touch the igniter itself, and just have steady hands, because these things are not cheap, especially the original, which that's what I recommend, is putting the original on. So once we get this out, it takes a little bit of patience, but if you have like a little crescent wrench or a ratchet with an extension Phillips, you can take it out like this, and it's just one Phillips, and you'll just disconnect the harness. So here we just pull it right up, and as you can see, it's white and it has a little mark here. This is where it's about to pop actually. So any day now this thing would have went and your dryer would have not heat. So we're going to go ahead and put this original part in. If you do need parts for your machine, we will leave a link in the description below that will lead to the wheels, the igniter and fuse kit if you need it, or even the belt if you need one belt. And this big tub, it takes a separate belt than just a basic LG belt. But this is the original LG igniter. Don't touch the top, just down here at the bottom. And then when you put this in, I like to bend this in all the way first. That way it clips over the top of this thing easier, so I can screw it in. So I'm gonna line this up and go in nice and gentle where I don't hit the edges of the burner housing itself with the igniter. I'm going to hold that down with my finger, and I'll put my little Phillips on the end of this, and yep, I dropped it. So this will happen, so just be careful. Let me grab it. There it is. This is just definitely something you don't want to rush. You just want to take your time. As you can see how slow I'm going. But I like to put my finger on top of the igniter before I start moving it, see? That way I hold this in place where the igniter doesn't fall off, and then I gently turn the screw clockwise to tighten it up. So once I get it in there, then I can grab my ratchet, hold the top of it with my finger, and slowly but surely tighten it up. So you definitely want to make sure this is nice and snug. So as you can see, it took me a little bit of time. It was nice and slow, even though I fast forward the video, it took a little bit of time. And you'll just reconnect your harness. You'll make sure it's aligned right, and then it's inside the little clip there. And then we'll go ahead and connect the harness. So basically what happened in this video, it worked so hard it actually blew the overload of the motor. That's why we replaced all the wheels. As you can see, everything's nice and smooth now. So the drum rotation will be less stress on the motor, and then the blower wheel will actually work or push air out faster, which will better the dry time, and the igniter itself obviously for the pre-maintenance. And if your dryer doesn't heat, you know, that could be your fuses. So let's go ahead and start it up. And there we go. And another tip too, if you not have your ducts clean, the ones that goes through the back wall throughout the house, I recommend you getting that done also. So check out this video. This is a full breakdown of how to take the dryer apart step by step. And I hope this video was helpful. Please like and subscribe for more future tips and videos. Thanks again.